Lucy Thomas and The Wind Beneath My Wings, and that was a Bette Midler song.
Oh my gosh. I hate to say it, but I think she did it better.
And he said it. No, she's fabulous. David O'Neill.
Oh, Gary.
Welcome to Monterey On Tonight.
Oh, what a pleasure to be here.
And
so
this
honored.
guy is going to be, in my opinion, a city councilman come election day in Carmel. And he is a dedicated and service-minded individual committed to preserving the unique charm of Carmel-by-the-Sea.
I mean, it's world renowned.
It is.
You know, so when we were in France and we were remodeling a chateau, we were trying to help the people in this small village that was adjacent bring life back into it. And so we were showing them the example of Carmel-by-the-Sea, and they said, "Oh yeah, Clint Eastwood's place."
Everybody knows.
But they know it's charming and special, and we said the reason why is because they've been so careful about their development over the decades.
Over the years.
Yeah.
No McDonald's.
No, no. And
No.
only Tiffany's. Tiffany's is worth having a big store.
You can have, Tiffany's. Carmel, California, USA has a Tiffany's. What's that tell you? They knew where to come.
That's right.
They did. David and I have made acquaintances probably 3 or 4 times now since I met you. I was invited over to his home, and JJ is the guy that made the connection. Jacques and Ali McDaniel said, "You got to meet David." So I was invited to was that a kind of a little morning breakfast kind of thing you guys had?
Yeah, it was a get to know you sort of thing, and I love JJ because he's originally from France, so we get to speak a little French together, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Didn't know you spoke French.
Oh, it's just un peu.
So gotten to know David, and just a wonderful young man, and I use that word because you are a young man. But,
For a little while longer, maybe.
but he's ready, and I'll tell you, he did something I just thought was so great. He had a little reception for a few of his friends over at the Cypress Inn. If you guys have never been here to Carmel, to the Cypress Inn, that was the hotel that Denny and Doris Day. I almost slipped my mind. Doris Day. It's a dog-friendly hotel. I think it's one of the few, isn't it?
Well, and it was sort of the reason why the whole rest of the town became so dog-friendly. And it's part of the reason we're so well known in the world, though, this whole community, is that it's a dog-friendly place. And honestly, that was one of the reasons I loved about coming here, too, and was drawn when we came back from France, is because we could take our dog everywhere.
Fabulous.
And feel welcome.
Yeah, and of course, I go on Saturday nights to the Cypress Inn because of Debbie Davis, who is a fabulous singer, vocalist, and Gennady, who is the pianist from the Mission Ranches, her accompanist on Saturday nights. And so Debbie performs, and I love Debbie and her music. And he took over the living room where Debbie performs for a little get-together, and that just turned out fabulous.
Well, and what was really an honor is that it was gifted to us. Denny Levette and his lovely wife offered us to have an event there, and he's introduced me,
Yes.
and that was totally impromptu. I was not expecting that.
That was such a nice gesture.
Oh my gosh, it really touched my heart, because
Yeah.
you know what it says to me is that he's one of the people that has helped sculpt Carmel-by-the-Sea
Yes.
over the years, and he sees that I love it the way that
Well,
he
yeah.
loves it, and that I want to carry on what he's done into the future. Future generations have got to enjoy this, and we have to find ways to protect it, even though we're developing things in the city according to the state plans.
You've got a career in construction, real estate planning, marketing. You've refined your skills and diligence, listening and communication. Critical traits for him to be a city councilman. And I know that when he is a city councilman, he's going to be doing great things for Carmel.
Well, you know what? I love Carmel very, very much. and the nature and the charm of it, but what I really love are the people.
Yeah.
The people of Carmel. I have never lived someplace that I felt so welcomed and appreciated and included in things. Even when I lived in San Francisco, in my early 20s, and I was having a chance to live around people that weren't judging me for being gay, this feels even more inclusive and loving than that felt.
Absolutely. Such a wonderful community. And, people today to volunteer for public service, because that's what this is doing. He ain't doing it for the money, I can tell you that. He's doing it because he has a passion for Carmel. He wants to see Carmel. I think you've got a warm spot in your heart for that city, and I could see it. And you're going to be a great asset to the community, David.
Well, I'd really love the chance to serve in this way, because so many people that I know and respect have asked me to do it.
Yeah.
They believe that this is what the city needs. Somebody who's going to do it with heart and compassion and dedication and do it full time, working very hard at it. I'm so lucky. I'm graced, honestly, that I have a husband that's been so loving and wonderful and successful that I can have the opportunity to serve the community full time.
Absolutely. And a shout out to William.
Yes, William.
I hope he's watching.
He better be.
Anyway, it warms my heart really to have a guy like David, number one on the show, and happy to give him the recognition that he rightfully deserves, because he's going to do a great job for that community. And there's a lot of things going on. I had the current mayor, Dave Potter, on the show a few shows back, and we talked about the things that are happening in Carmel, like street addresses, and the fact that people want to change 100-some-year-old law, I guess, or ordinance, to give all of the homes now with a street address. So I understand they're going to put that up for ballot.
Well, it's a little bit complicated,
Is it?
and there's some people who are trying to fight on both sides of it. The issue is not that we're going to discuss this topic again, as far as I'm concerned. The issue is that they've been doing the procedures wrong.
I heard that.
Specifically, Karen Ferlito and Jeff Barron have been pushing through the procedures incorrectly to try and force this down our throats. Now, I'm not saying whether I'm one side or the other at this moment. I'll explain to you. But the issue to me is that we should never force people. And so when the idea of having a vote was brought up, Jeff Barron said, "Well, no, they might make the wrong choice." So that's democracy.
Yeah.
When you don't let people vote and you tell them what to do, that's autocracy.
Well, we want them to vote on it.
Well, exactly. That's what has to be done. And that's why everybody's been so frustrated and upset, is because it hasn't been handled properly.
Yeah.
And, there are good points on both sides.
I know. I've heard both sides of the conversations about why Carmel needs to have street addresses on the homes. But, hey, it's been working all these years the way it is.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how many people have missed a package or didn't get their medication, or the ambulance couldn't find the house? Come on.
Well, it is quite rare that those issues come up, and there are workarounds for every issue.
Yeah.
And we've come up with a document that we have a coalition in town, an informal group of people that belong to different boards and commissions and nonprofits and such, and try to communicate with each other and make sure that we could support each other in things.
Yeah.
And so we've come up with a document that explains, basically to anybody new or somebody who doesn't know, these are the ways to work around all these issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds really funny that we've got to, and it's not just one page.
I'm sure. It's a long, long list.
But there are ways to work around it.
Sure.
And this tradition of not having addresses is something that makes this place really unique. And
How many places that you know in a city where there's no street address? I mean, you can find. I found his home easily by him telling me it was on this corner and this corner, southwest. You can find it. It's not impossible. When I went to the Carmel Foundation for the very first time, I found it. They gave me the cross street and across street, and there it was. So, come on. Well, you know which way I'm voting.
Yeah,
But I don't get to vote because I'm not living there. You got to be in Carmel to be able to vote.
Well, we'll find you a home. I can help you with that too.
I want to be next door to you. I love your home.
Yeah, we're remodeling a 1924 home, bringing it back to its best possible.
That's the one you're working on now.
Yeah.
Okay. When's that going to be on the market?
About a month or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Getting close, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it's so exciting, and we've really made it more luxurious inside than it would have been, But we've kept the style and the essence of it.
But the one you're in now, I understand that when you found that home, you didn't have to do a thing. It was just like move in.
It was magic. But the funny thing is that we love to remodel homes. So, but no, we'd been through a lot, coming back from France, and there were some really crazy things that happened over there that made us decide that we didn't want to continue investing in France anymore because of government issues, and it's top-down government issues kind of stuff. So this stuff here in California is a little.
Can we finish with talking about the pit?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that big pit in downtown Carmel. You know the history. Give them the history, the folks that don't know anything about the pit, and what's going on there now.
Well, there's this big hole in the ground that's been there for a while, and I think we're going to turn it into a swimming pool. Just kidding.
That's what I heard.
No, I'm just kidding. No, the people that were developing it halfway through lost financing or whatever it was. Financially, they couldn't handle it to go forward, so they wanted to sell it. They were asked, Patrice Pasteur if he would please consider doing the project. That was a community ask. This was some of the different associations and the city council indirectly asked him if he would do it, and he said yes, he'll do it. So he bought the project and he started to take it over. And then we started putting him through hell. And
amazing. The guy comes to the rescue with this big pit in downtown Carmel, and now they're giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
He's the guy that rescued Rocky Point.
Mm-hmm. And gave it back to the community.
He did. A wonderful man from France.
Yeah, and he loves it here because this was the only place that his dad, a very
used to bring him here when he was a kid.
Yeah, he was a stressed out man, but here in Carmel he was happy, and it was the only place he ever saw his dad.
Look him up on the internet, Patrice Pasteur.
Yeah, he's a really great guy. He really means well. All of the stuff that he's doing, he's developing with the essence of Carmel in mind.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to change anything. He wants to keep things nice. And honestly, there was an issue with this little restaurant that he bought that caught on fire.
Yeah.
And the reason why he decided not to help that lady anymore, he bought that. I was at the luncheon where we decided to ask him if he'd buy it just to keep her in there because she couldn't afford the new rent.
Wow.
And he was going to keep it at the old rent. It was because she went to the press. Well, her son went to the press about an issue that they were having, and they didn't go to him first. And so he felt betrayed.
Yeah.
And
I can understand that.
He decided to stop. But the good thing about the pit is that they're working very hard.
It's going to be something.
Oh.
And it's going to fit into the community, too.
It's going to be beautiful. And they're just working out some water credit things right now. But it's underway,
Yeah. I wish we had a picture of it, Dylan. I don't know whether you can find it in the few minutes we have left. But look online. There might be something in the pine cone Do they call it the pit? I know that was what people came. There it is.
Oh, that is it. Yeah.
That's it.
Swimming pool.
It's a big, deep swimming pool there. They started construction. They ran out of money, and it's just been sitting there for how many years, David?
Oh gosh,
7,
too
8
many.
years?
Yeah, I mean it was before I got here. It was stopped.
Very
and
sad.
They're going to have a really beautiful on the corner, sort of a Spanish style.
Yes,
And then
I
they're going to
love
have
the
a
architecture.
Tudor style, and then a coastal style, and then for people who like modern, they're even going to have a little modern
Oh,
section
beautiful!
in the back.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, so-
Make everybody happy. Come on,
as best we can.
if that's possible.
Yeah, while preserving, the character of Carmel, and in our general plan, it says 13 or 14 times that we need to respect the residential character of Carmel-by-the-Sea.
And it has its own special character. And I'll tell you something, folks. If you've never been to Carmel, those of you that are watching, you have to come to Carmel. If you do nothing else, just drive along Scenic Drive. You don't have to do anything else. Just Scenic Drive, and just take a look at that beautiful Carmel beach and the homes that are, we got a little moth in here who came in to see us. And he got me right there. Do that. Scenic Drive, when you come into town, drive along Scenic. There is nothing more beautiful anywhere in the world.
It's a magical place, really.
Look at these homes. Look at the shops. I mean, it's a magical place.
And for the most part, except for when we have our storms, it is
Yeah.
a really pleasant place to be almost all the time of the year.
Yeah, we do get some pretty bad storms in here during the winter because we're right on the ocean.
We get to play with Mother Nature.
That's right.
Yeah.
And she turns off the power when we.
she wants us to relax.
If you're going to
Stop.
be here and you can afford it, get a generator.
A quiet one, please.
A quiet one.
Yeah.
David, thank you so much for being here
Oh,
tonight.
Gary, thank you. It's such a
There
pleasure.
he is,
Oh.
David O'Neill, City Council in Carmel, 2024, 2025. It's a 2-year term, right?
It's actually 4 years.
Oh, is it 4 years?
2 year for the mayor and 4 year for the city council members.
Oh, I didn't know that. 2 years for mayor, 4 years. So you're going to be around till 2029, huh?
Yeah, at least. In one way or another, I'm going to be volunteering and supporting this community in one way or another. So
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
being here.
Gary.
Appreciate it very much.
Such a pleasure.
Okay, one more of my Lucy Thomas videos, and then we're going to turn it over to Dylan. So here's one more from Lucy Thomas.
Wise men say only fools